Hey Ravens fans, I'm Ryan Mink. I am joined here by Ravens Director of College Scouting, Joe Hortiz, back from Indianapolis in Owings Mills, and we're going to talk about some of the highlights you saw from the NFL Scouting Combine. What did you see from the safety class at the Combine?
The safety class, DBs, and work them together. I think the safeties, last year it wasn't a deep crew. This year it's a little deeper. I wouldn't call it an extremely deep group. Now when you factor in the corners with some flexibility to move to safety, that kind of deepens the group.
Right.
Guys that played corner this year in college, that you project to move to safety, that helps you a little bit, add some depth to the group. Safeties come in all different shapes and sizes. They don't all run well. Some are small and fast, some are big and average speed. So I think with safeties, it's more of a finding a fit within your defense. I think out there you saw some guys that could fit either position. I think you see some guys that are strong safeties, some guys that are more back end free safety players, but a little bit deeper group I think as a whole based off of last year's.
Do you see more guys now, because you were mentioning that more corners are bigger in college now. Yep. So do you see more guys converting from corner to safety now, or that are able to do that?
Yeah, I think you see more physical body types that are able to make that. You're able to make that projection on, because the corners are bigger in college. So you're able to say to yourself, hey, you know what, he's got a little bit of tightness, or maybe he's not fast enough for corner, but he's really instinctive and he's tough, and I think he'll be a good tackler. You wouldn't trust him outside, especially the way we run our defense. We do a lot of man coverage, a lot of deep third responsibilities, so our guys got to be able to run and cover outside. So you can take maybe a slower corner and project him to free safety, or a physical corner to strong safety.
Right. And we'll talk about, I feel like we're talking about a lot of Alabama players.
Yeah.
We'll move on to another one with Alabama safety Mark Barron. He didn't really work out at the Combine, still coming off an injury. So how do you, when a guy doesn't work out at all and you only have the tape to rely on, what do you do then?
Yeah. Well, first, the Alabama guys, we're going to see on draft weekend why they were national champions.
Right.
And there's more coming, I'm sure. But when the guy doesn't work out there, what you do is you table what you see on the tape, and then we attack his pro day in full. Now he's going to probably be delayed in terms of his workout. They're scheduled, I think, next week, and he won't be ready for that. He had the double hernia surgery, so he'll come out and hopefully be able to perform for us later in the month. But these workouts are great. Some guys help themselves with them because they show that they are faster than their people thought, or they're bigger than we originally thought. But ultimately, the tape's got to be the main thing. And it's the guys that are good on tape, whether they work out or not, whether they run or don't, they play fast. They get you in the right direction, and the rest is just kind of a stamp of approval almost.
So when you flip on the tape of Mark Barron, what do you see?
He's a pretty good player. For an Alabama guy, he's pretty good.
Is he one of those
versatile.
guys that could?
Yes, to answer your question where you're getting at, he's a guy that can play high or low. He's played a lot of more high safety earlier in his career. This year, he's a big guy and he's physical, so they moved him down into the box and they let him play some dime backer and kind of strong safety role. But he's definitely versatile. He can play high or low.
Right. Another guy at the Combine was Notre Dame's Harrison Smith. And with the Ravens losing Tom Zbikowski, possibly losing Tom Zbikowski and Ruki Nakamura, both are unrestricted free agents, there could be a need there for somebody that could be a backup and then perhaps be a starter down the road.
Sure.
Harrison is a big guy, 6'3",
right?
I want to say.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that big a guy, does he have the flexibility where he can go both ways, or what do you see?
Yeah, well, it's funny. He began his career actually playing as an undersized linebacker at Notre Dame.
Wow, right.
And they moved him back to safety. And he's a guy who plays, high and low, more of the boundary side. But they'll move him up and back, and he's got interception production and he's got tackle production. So he's made plays in both the run and the pass. He is physical, he is big, so he can get in there and bang with people. And he's fast enough and athletic enough to play on the back end as well. So he's another guy with versatility, a lot like Barron, and a guy who's shown it in his career by being used high and low.
Right. These Notre Dame safeties, are they kind of scrappy guys, or?
It depends. Some years they are, some years they aren't. Zibby obviously is a scrappy guy, and Harrison's probably the same type of guy in terms of toughness and scrappiness. But some years they're not. Some years they're more cover guys, and they're not as willing to get into the mix. But one thing with a Notre Dame safety is you're probably going to get a smart football player.
Right. And when you're looking at the safeties, because Tom and Haruki played such a large role in special teams, if you're looking at safeties in the mid to later rounds, are you looking really at whether they have experience in special teams?
Experience is a plus, like a job application.
Right.
Ability to do it is the main thing. And obviously, if we draft you and you're a backup safety for the Ravens, we expect you out there on special teams. And if you're not helping us as a draft pick, right? Truthfully. So when you look at all the safeties on the board, we want to know what can they do for us on teams, whether it's the guys that are highly rated, or whether they're late round projections, because we got two pretty good ones in Baltimore right now. So we feel pretty good about our starting safeties and not knowing what's going to happen with Tom and Rook. But if they have opportunities to go elsewhere, if they do, then obviously we'll have needs at that position. And those two did fill such an integral part of special teams that any safety we draft who has to replace them, they'll be expected to fill that role too.
And when you're looking for a special teamer that can do it, are you just looking for? Is it a lot of speed, fast, big, can tackle? Is that generally?
Tackling's important. Speed is good. Safeties typically run well enough. Most safeties to help you on teams. Obviously, there's some 4-4 safeties that are going to get down the field a little bit faster than a 4-6 safety. But it's funny, Tom and Haruki. You look at those two guys, they run differently, they're built differently, but they're both equally productive on teams. So I think in the end it comes down to 1-2 and will, and I think both those guys had that, and so that's what we'll be looking for if we take another one.